G'day everyone, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 13th of June. I'm Jackson. As always, there will be timestamps in the description if you want to fast forward to one of these options in particular. You just want to skip all the other stuff, you're just stuck on one thing. So, it's not a great set. There's a couple of good things, but some of the other stuff can be annoying. So, extracting at an enchanting table is just extracting glyphs. Treasure chests, wild or domestic animals. This is critters. The wild thing's a little misleading. 2 Battlegrounds with the Guildmate, this one sucks. And then this one, 2000 Archival Fortunes, this one can also suck. So I'll just very briefly explain this. You don't need to win the Battlegrounds, you just need to complete them. But the problem is, the added issue of like finding a guildmate in one of your guilds that's like ready to go, you know, waiting for them to be prepared, waiting for yourself to be prepared all the right time, can be quite long, and then queuing for the Battlegrounds themselves can take ages. So even with the Chaos Full PvP weekend, it'll still probably take some time. So just understand this is without a doubt the slowest endeavor that's going to be of these 5. You could probably do these 3 and the weekly in the earlier than you probably get 2 Battlegrounds to the Guildmate. The only thing I will talk about with this one that might make it easier for you if you do want to do this one, if you don't want to do the other ones, in creating and joining a guild, you can create a guild, literally just call it Gobbledygook, create it, and it'll show up here. And what you can do is you can pull some random off the street who wants to do a battleground with you. You can add member, you can go @ and then type in their @ name or their character name, and you add them to the guild, then group with them, then do the battleground, and that way you don't have to be in like a big guild for this to work. You can just get some random person. The only thing sometimes there's like people don't understand that this is what you want to do. They start. I asked the other day about doing one of these guildmate ones, and people were just like, "You need to be in a guild." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit." So yeah, you might see some weird issues with that, but yeah, for the most part, you can just do it this way. So trust in yourself to be able to do that. Just make sure you group after making the guild and being in it both, because if you group and be in the battleground before you make the guild at first, I don't think it works. The other guildmate ones have that same issue as far as I found. And then you can just kick the player by right clicking here in roster, and then in home you can just leave the guild here, you just accept, and then you back out, and you can just do that whenever you want, or you can keep the guild up if you want to do that too. So I'll talk first about the Archival Fortunes in the Infinite Archive. This one is very quick to do if you have fortunes. It is painstakingly slow if you don't. So Infinite Archive, you can find this in Necrom, in Apocrypha, the DLC in the mod maps on the northwest side. This is base game, even though it's in this DLC zone. You can travel here at any point. The way to get here is already unlocked as soon as you make a character. In order to spend Archival Fortunes, there's the Filer merchants here. So you've got 2 here and then 1 here. So this one here, Filer Brax, this is probably the most straightforward because they've got a bunch of sets for all the classes that you can buy with 2000 fortunes. So that's just an easy way to spend 2000. That's the thing. That's what I mean. It's super duper easy to do this because you literally press E on one of these and you're done. It takes a couple of minutes getting in here and then like a couple of seconds to do that. There's also this guy over here. They sell... Are they merchant? No, they're not. So Filer Ul sells mythics. There's actually a good one this week. It's one of the Oakensoul Ring ones. I know some people want this one. So yeah, you could do stuff like that. There's some formulas, some designs you could buy for 2000 as well, and some script. These are all bound, mind you, so you can't sell them. Just keep that in mind. So you can't convert the fortunes into actual fortune. So yeah, the issue is you spend that 2000 fortunes and then getting the 2000 back, right? So or getting enough for 2000. It's 200 for a boss, and bosses take like 5 or 10 minutes to get to each time. Then completing the arc, which is stage cycle, that 4 times, then stage final boss, that takes like 20 to 40 minutes usually. And then that's not all you have to do. That's like 1500 because you hand in the quest, and that's 500 as well. You need to go further than that. You need to go into Arc 2, get to it's either 2 bosses, maybe less. Like there's also the coffee break things you get in between. But yeah, basically it can spend anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour just doing that to get 2000 fortunes. So it's not worth it if you don't have any fortunes at all. Maybe if you have like 1800 and you see 200, kill 1 boss and that's it. But the amount of effort to get that much is just painstakingly bad, and one I would not recommend doing unless you've already got the fortunes to spend on it. Just do these 3 here. They're all base game. This one, even if you have to go find some runestones to get enough stuff, it will still probably be slower. Still probably be quicker than doing this one here, I'd say. Alright, let's talk next about wild or domestic animals. So, I would ignore this tooltip and just think of it as critters. Anything which, if you look at their health, they have 1, that is a critter. So any of these monkeys here, these will count as a wild or domestic animal. There's a couple of places you can use to easily get some of these. One of the easiest to reach early on is Monkey's Rest, but I find this is where everybody else goes. But everything spawns here pretty quick anyway, so you usually don't have much trouble. So just a little bit north and a little bit west of the starting Wayshrine and Vocal Guard, you just come up here, and then get this Wayshrine, you'll have easy access to Monkey's Rest from that point. And yeah, just come through, kill some of these monkeys here, and that's all you gotta do. And there's heaps of these things. They're all over here, they're here. They're inside the house as well. I think someone's killed the ones in here, though. You got some on the tree here, some over here, some on the rocks. So just have a proper look around to see if you can find any monkeys, if there aren't any alive. Because there's a lot more than might meet the eye at first. That's one place. Let me go through some other ones. Another good choice is this oasis in Alikir Desert. Probably the quickest way to get here is to use one of the houses, like House of the Silent Magnifico, to travel out of Sentinel and just travel straight down here with home tours. So if you're not familiar with home tours, just go here, browse homes, and yeah, like I said, House of the Silent Magnifico, this one. Just travel to one of these, go out the front door, and it'll take you out to Alikir Desert. And from there, you can just travel down here. Now, there's also Kanathi's Roost as well. There's a bunch of sheep here that you can kill. There's just a NPC here that might see you kill them. They'll give you a bounty if they see you, so just keep that in mind. This is like a third option, I would say, if the other two are just like ridiculously busy. Same thing, you can use Moonmirth House to travel here with home tours, and just travel up here if you don't have this place already. And there's one last one I suggest. This one is available to you immediately to come to the Imperial City. Don't go into the actual zone, just look at the 2 dungeons here. So White Gold Tower is what you're looking for. Vet or normal, doesn't matter, you're not going to fight anything in here. You're just going to go through the initial area. So what you're looking for is any of the critters that will be around. So in each of these corners, you might find one. What you have to do is have the health bars active at the top, and you need to look around, and anytime you see like a health bar, just look at the name. And if it says there's like certain critter names, there's like Scuttler, Centipede, all sorts of other stuff, Spider, there's one. So you can go kill that one. Sometimes there's one here. We're getting really unlucky with these ones, actually. Yeah, sometimes there's also one on the pillar here. And then there's sometimes one at the top of the stairs. If there's nothing here, also look up the top. So come out here. Right in front of you, there can be a critter as well. There you go, there's a snake. So that would be one. From this point, don't go any further, because that's where the enemies start. And as far as I'm aware, there are no critters around from that point on. I've checked around there as well. If you come in here, though, there might be a few more. There's a snake there. There's a scuttler over here that you see. Yeah, I think there's a max of 3 things in here. But yeah, they're just... Sometimes they spawn, sometimes they don't. It's just the weird unreliability of dungeon or like container instances in this game. So if that doesn't work, you can leave the dungeon and come back, and it should reset all the stuff, and then it might be different. But you shouldn't really need to do this. This is only like worst case scenario if everything else is like ridiculously busy. You can just come back and forth and keep finding the critters in here to kill. You usually will find 5 in here though, because there's like 10 or 15 different spawns for them. But it's just luck, unfortunately. As for chests, I wouldn't search for any in here, because usually they spawn later in the dungeon. But you can kill the stuff in there if you're able to handle White Gold Tower. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. What I would recommend for chests, a couple of things. So one is to do dolmens. So each dolmen that you complete gives you a chest at the end. And these chests are instant. So even if you take it, other people can actually loot their own version of the chest. So it's really friendly to big groups of players, because you can all do the dom, and very little input required, especially when there's lots of people, because they help you do it very quick. And yeah, just everyone gets a chest. That's really good. Yeah, it's just a little bit slower than other methods. So domins, TLDR, I'm sure most people have done a Dolma before, but kill the enemies. Their souls go into these pinions, and when they open up, you just got to close the pinions. You're just going to interact with them. Like this one here, for example, just destroy it. You get resources back, and I think you get a buff that lets you do more damage to enemies as well. That's the the glowing arms thing, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not certain on that. Yeah, if you go to the Alakir Desert Dolmens, there's usually lots of people there grinding XP. But usually those ones are much more busy, and you can get chests from them much quicker. To beat the boss at the end, this pinion in the middle will open up. Close it, and you'll get a chest here. So just loot the chest, and that'll be one. So you just got to do that twice. So you just go to the Wayshrine and go to the next one. So in Auridon, the Dolmens go this way, and this way. I'm not entirely sure what the ones in Alakir Desert do, because I never do these ones. But yeah, it's always a set direction that they travel. I'm pretty sure it's west to east. So this one, this one, this one. But don't quote me on that. But they always follow the same direction. They never change. Another option for treasure chests is to use treasure maps. So if you go to in Guild Stores, Miscellaneous to Trophy, and then select Treasure Map. Yeah, there's none here, but you can search for all different types of treasure maps that you can loot. So I've got one prepared earlier here. I've got this one for Deshaan, so I'll go check that. Alright, so here's an example of a treasure map. So just take it, and that'll count as a chest as well. I should point out, while you're on the lookout for these treasure chests, you should probably look out for critters too, because you'll find things like snakes and like other weak stuff, like deer as well. I'm pretty sure they count for wild and domestic animals. Anything that you can kill in one hit. So keep an eye on them for them too, because they're just in the wilderness as well. So another good option, especially if you have Cloak or like a Vampirism Stage 4 build, you can use public dungeons and loot chests throughout the place. The good thing about this method is there's tons of chests in these places. The only thing is you compete with other people, so sometimes it can be rough, because other people usually have the same idea when loot treasure chest comes up. So there's, yeah, I've got all these locations mapped out for Forgotten Crypt. I will link this and 3 other public dungeons in the description, like all the chest locations, because I've got all the ones for Forgotten Crypts in Deshaan, I've got all the ones for Obsidian Scar in Rivenspire, got all the ones for Rezek's Wheel in Vankrite, and then lastly I've got the ones for Labyrinthian in Western Skyrim. I do recommend trying to find chests in all these locations if you do want to find these, because all 4 of these spots have all 4 of these public dungeons have so many chests, it's ridiculous. Not all spawn at the same time, mind you, but they have preset spawn, so all you have to do is like look around, and when one despawns, like another one will spawn somewhere else. So you just got to know where to look, basically. I can't find any there. Yeah, here's an example here. So this boss here, if you want to avoid their ire, you can, if you sit in the right spot, you can actually line of sight them. I'm pretty sure it works for this one. It did whenever I did it, like this. So just grab that, and that's also another way to get chests. And yeah, so yeah, there's another one there. And same thing with this one. I'm pretty sure if you do it over here-ish, the 3 skeletons over here won't aggro. So yeah, you just need to understand how it works. If it's really painful, just kill them. Just understand sometimes players come in and fucking grab the chest while you're killing shit. It's annoying. Yeah. Just try to find ones that aren't next to any enemies. Okay, so the third option is extracting items at an enchanting table. So with this one, there's 2 sort of main ways I would do this. One's like going to be slow and sure. One's going to be like fast, but you need to have a fair bit of gold. So what you need to do is go to an enchanting table and extract glyphs. One way is to get these from like killing enemies. If you do your dolmens for chests, you'll probably get a few of these. But you go to the extracting section and you extract them, and that counts as extracting an item. I don't believe you can do this for the furnishings. But yeah, this is the only thing that works for doing this endeavor. So the issue is either you need to create your own glyphs or find some. And finding some is like slow in the general environment. But what you can do is talk to a enchanter, like this guy here. They're usually found near the enchanting stations that that you can use. These people sell glyphs. So what you can do is buy these glyphs this way and then extract them straight away. So it just takes like 15 seconds to buy them and then extract them all. The only issue is these can be expensive. If your character is max level, they cost like 300 gold each. So you will go through a lot of gold just trying to extract a bunch of these. But obviously if you don't have monetary issues, it's fine. What you can also do is get a character who's like level 3, put a fair bit of gold on them and just buy the lowest level glyphs, because what happens is these things spawn based on your level. So if you're max level, you'll only get like the really high ones that are more expensive, but if you're level 3, you'll get the lowest possible one and they're much cheaper. So that is one way to curve the cost a little bit down if you don't want this to cost fucking heaps. But yeah, obviously if it's just convenience you're worried about, just fucking buy them and go nuts. So in this case I can just buy them for whatever, doesn't matter which ones you get, just buy any and just go here and then extract them. And yeah, job done. Now, the other way, if you don't have any money, unfortunately, your only option is going to be either... Well, if you don't have that much money, maybe try and see if you can buy some runes from guild stores for less, or just farm them yourself. Back to our trusted guild store here. So, if you want to look for runes to use in Enchanting, you go your Aspect, your Potency, and your... Essence. Potency, you can buy every single potency rune from enchanters, so don't ever worry about these things on guild stores. Just buy them from enchanters, I think, because they're pretty cheap. Like probably not as cheap as some items are on guild stores, but some blue ones are actually more expensive on guild stores. It's pretty crazy. And then Aspect, it's just basically anything that isn't Hakejo or Indeco, because those are like ridiculously expensive. And maybe like Oko as well. But yeah, most stuff is like only like you can find stuff for 11 gold each, usually. So it's not too bad. So yeah, like 80 gold. Probably like a couple of 100 gold for the potency runes. And then for aspect runes, look for the green ones. Jijoto, they're the cheapest one by far. You can get a full stack of those for like a couple of 100 gold, usually. And that'll last you ages. If you have 0G, your only other option is going to be finding some runestones in the environment. This is what they look like. They have like an orange tint on the ground. Usually that's the easiest way to see them from afar. That being said, the weekly is to harvest resources from the world. This is a pretty good one usually. So, yeah, might as well do that if you want to do that. Might as well get runestones while you're at it doing this one. Might be able to do both at the same time. But yeah, you just gotta look around and you can find runestones. As I said, the easiest way to find them is to look for like an orange glow somewhere near where they are. So I'll show you. Yeah, you can see the orange tint from here. So yeah, you can see there's like the glow on the floor. But usually you see the glowing orange flame first. So you just loot. You'll probably have to loot more than 8. Because sometimes you get things that aren't Tar or Jijoto from these things. Usually you do. But sometimes you can get like the purples and the golds and the blues. And if you're low level in Enchanting, you can't use those. So just keep that in mind. You need like the high level stuff here. But potency, you can get the blue runes from them, but you don't always. So that's why you just buy them from the enchanters if you can. Buying these from enchanters is like the only necessity for this. Yeah, just run around looking for runestones. As long as you got like a quick mount, it shouldn't take long. It should only take like 5 or 10 minutes maybe. Yeah, you see the tint. So you can see how it works. So just go through, find a couple of these, and then yeah, you'll be set to do this one. It's just going to take a little longer. But like I said, this is probably nowhere near as long as doing the Guildmate one or the Endeavors one. Oh, sorry, the Endeavours one. The Archival Fortunes one, because they take ages if you don't have any fortunes. Alright, so that's everything. If you've got any questions, as always, just give me a holler. But that's Daily's done. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I will see you next time, and take care.